Hello, everyone. My name is Mia. I'm 24 years old and I live in a small city in Colombia. 6 months ago, I could not speak English. I knew some words like hello, food, and school, but I couldn't make full sentences. When I tried to talk, I got nervous. My mind went blank and I felt so shy. Today, I want to share how I learned English in just 5 months. I didn't pay for expensive classes. I didn't move to an English-speaking country. I used simple, fun methods that changed my life. This story is for you. If you feel frustrated, stuck, or embarrassed about your English, keep reading. I was exactly like you, and I promise, if you follow my steps, you can learn English too. My big mistake. My story starts with a big mistake. I always dreamed of being a teacher in an international school. I loved working with children, telling stories, and helping them learn. I studied hard, practiced teaching, and made fun lesson plans. One day, I saw a job ad for a famous school in Ireland. It was my dream job. I sent my application, and after 3 weeks, I got an email. Mia, we invite you for an interview. I was so excited. I imagined teaching kids, living in a new country, and making my family proud. But the interview was a disaster. It was on Zoom with 3 native English speakers. They smiled and asked, Mia, tell us about your teaching experience. My heart stopped. I understood the question, but I couldn't answer. I said, I teach kids good? They looked confused. They asked another question. Why do you want to work at our school? I tried again. I love kids, school, nice. My words were wrong and I felt so embarrassed. There was a long silence, like a heavy stone on my chest. At the end, they said, Thank you, Mia. We'll call you. I knew what that meant. I didn't get the job. I failed because of my English. I was a good teacher, but without English, I couldn't show my skills. That day, I realized English was the key to my dream. I felt sad, angry, and ashamed. For years, I thought, I don't need English. I'll just be a great teacher. But I was wrong. Without English, my talent was hidden. That night, I made a promise. I will learn English, and I will learn it fast. Why classes didn't help? Many people start with expensive English classes. I tried that before. 2 years ago, I joined a class in my city. The teacher gave us long lists of words like book, run, and house. We did grammar exercises and memorized rules like I am plus verb plus ing. I studied hard for 4 months, but when I tried to speak, I forgot everything. I couldn't make sentences, and I felt lost. So, I knew classes weren't the answer. I needed a plan that worked in real life. Here's how I learnt English in 5 months, step by step. Step 1. Use the words you know. My first 15 days. Most beginners think they need thousands of words to speak English. I thought so too. But I already knew many words, like walk, eat, and happy. The problem was I couldn't use them. So, for the first 15 days, I didn't learn new words. I focused on using what I knew. Number 1. Everyday sentences. I wrote 50 simple sentences I needed in daily life. For example, hello, how are you? Can you speak slowly, please? I'm learning English. Where is the park? I want a sandwich, please. Every morning, I read them out loud 10 times. At first, my voice was slow and I felt silly. After 1 week, I said them fast and clear. It felt like a small victory. Number 2. Talking to myself. I spoke English when I was alone. For example, when I was in my kitchen, I said, I'm making coffee. The smell is good. When I walked to the market, I said, the sky is blue. I see people shopping. At first, I felt like I was acting in a movie. But no one heard me, so I wasn't scared. After a few days, my brain started thinking in English. Number 3. Copying videos. I watched English YouTube videos about teaching and picked 5 sentences every day. I repeated them like the speakers. For example, I heard, I love helping kids learn. I paused and said, I love helping kids learn, with the same energy. Another time, I heard, can you repeat that please? I repeated it 10 times. This helped my English sound natural. After 15 days, I could say simple sentences without thinking. I felt stronger and ready for more. Step 2. Build real conversations. The question-answer game. I wanted to talk like native speakers, not just say short sentences. So, I used a method I called the question-answer game. It was easy and fun. I asked myself a question in English. I answered it quickly without thinking too much. I added more details each time. For example, question: what did you do today? Answer: 1. I taught a lesson. Answer 2. I taught a lesson at home. Answer 3. I taught a lesson at home with my sister. Answer 4. I taught a lesson at home with my sister and we laughed. Answer 5. I taught a lesson at home with my sister, we laughed and we ate cookies after. Another example. Question. What's your favorite thing to do? Answer 1. Teaching. Answer 2. I love teaching. Answer 3. I love teaching because it's fun. Answer 4. I love teaching because it's fun and I help kids. Answer 5. I love teaching because it's fun, I help kids and they smile when they learn. I did this for 30 minutes every day. My speaking got faster and I stopped translating from Spanish. One day, I tried it at a store. I asked, "How much is this book?" The seller understood me, and I felt so proud. Another time, I said, "Can you make it quick?" to a waiter, and he smiled. It felt like a big win. Step 3. Make my English clear. The echo trick. My pronunciation was a problem. My Colombian accent was strong, and people sometimes didn't understand me. So I used the echo trick. I listened to a native speaker in a movie, podcast, or YouTube video. I paused after each sentence. I repeated it exactly like them, same speed, tone, and feeling. For example, I watched a teaching video where someone said, "Let's learn something new." I paused and said, "Let's learn something new," with a big smile. Another time, I heard a podcast say, "I'm so tired today." I repeated, "I'm so tired today." I did this for 20 minutes every day. After 1 month, my friend said, "Mia, your English sounds so clear." Once I made a funny mistake. I heard "I'm starving" and thought it meant "I'm cold." I said it to my brother and he laughed. "Mia, that means you're hungry," he said. I laughed too and learned the right word. Mistakes made me better. Step 4. Learn words the fun way. The story game. I needed more words, but memorizing lists was boring. So I used the story game. I picked 5 new words each day. I made a short story with them. I read the story out loud 10 times. I used the words when I spoke. For example, words: adventure, school, teach, happy, book. Story: I went on an adventure to a school. I taught kids, felt happy, and read a book. Another day. Words: busy, friend, party, dance, laugh. Story: I was busy at work, but my friend invited me to a party. We danced and laughed all night. I did this every day. After 3 months, I learned over 1,200 words, and it felt so easy. One time, I used my new word adventure with a friend. I said, "Teaching is my adventure." She smiled and said, "That's a cool word." Step 5. Think like a native. No more Spanish. I used to think in Spanish and translate to English. This was slow and confusing. To stop this, I did 3 things. Describe everything. When I saw something, I said it in English. For example, the table is brown. The room is warm. Ask and answer. I asked myself, what am I doing? And answered, I'm reading a book. It's fun. Write a diary. Every night, I wrote about my day. At first, I wrote, I ate lunch. I walked. Later, I wrote, I ate lunch with my mum, and we walked in the park. After 1 month, I thought in English naturally. One day, I was walking and thought, the trees are green. I feel happy. It felt like my brain was English now. Step 6. Talk to real people. No more fear. I was scared to talk to native speakers. I thought they would laugh at my mistakes. So I prepared. I practiced 10 questions, like, what's your job? And do you like to travel? I joined an online English club. Everyone was learning, so I felt safe. I spoke English in real life. One day, I helped a tourist at the park. I said, do you want me to take your photo? She said, yes, thank you. We talked for 10 minutes and I felt like a superstar. Another time, I made a mistake at a cafe. I said, can I have a coffee with milk, please? But I said meal instead of milk. The waiter laughed and said, milk, not meal. I laughed too and learned to say it right. These moments gave me confidence. Step 7. Learn real English. Grammar without books. School English was different from real English. For example, I learned I study English, but native speakers said I've been studying English. I started noticing these differences. I kept a notebook for tricky things, like on Monday, but in the morning. I watched teaching videos and repeated sentences, like I've been teaching for 2 years. I also wrote a diary and copied sentences from books. For example, I read, I had so much fun, and wrote, I had so much fun teaching kids. One day, I heard a teacher say, I'm going to try something new. I repeated it and used it in my diary. I'm going to try a new lesson plan. This helped me sound natural. My big win. After 5 months, I felt different. I spoke to myself in the mirror, and the words flowed like water. I joined an online meeting with native speakers. I said, I love teaching kids and making them smile. They listened, nodded, and asked questions. I answered clearly and even made a joke about my love for books. They laughed, and I felt so proud. I applied for my dream job again. This time I was ready. In the interview, I said, "I'm a teacher. I love helping kids learn and grow." The interviewers smiled. A week later, I got a call. "Mia, you got the job." My salary was $4,300 a month. I screamed with joy. I called my parents and said, "I did it." My mum cried and my dad said, "You're our hero." With my first salary, I bought my mum a new necklace and my dad a watch. They said, "We don't need gifts," but I said, "This is for you. Thank you for believing in me." Quick tips for A2 learners. Believe in yourself. Say, "I can learn English every day." Live in English. Watch English videos. Use English on your phone. Speak without fear. Talk to yourself or others, even if you make mistakes. Copy native speakers. Repeat sentences from movies or videos. Learn words with stories. Make fun stories with new words. Notice grammar. Listen to real English and copy it. Practice every day. Even 10 minutes makes a difference. You don't need money or a perfect place. You need a big dream and small steps every day. Imagine speaking English fluently in 6 months. Imagine new jobs, new friends, and feeling proud. Start now. Speak, listen, write, and don't stop. If I can do it, you can too. Choose effort. Choose success. Your English journey starts today.